Hello students, welcome to the class today. Today I am going to discuss about the next part of this chapter, why do we fall ill. In the previous class we studied about the disease and healthy state, disease free state. Today I am going to start with the acute and chronic disease. First of all, what are acute diseases? Acute diseases are the disease that last for only short period of time, and chronic disease are the disease that last for a longer period of time. Also acute diseases, here it is mentioned, and acute diseases caused randomly, like for example dysentery, cough, diarrhea, etc. And also it does not cause major effect on your health. But chronic disease are the disease that last for longer period of time, and it is caused due to the course of time, and it also cause a major general effect on your health. For example, heart diseases, for example tuberculosis, for example kidney diseases, liver diseases. So these all are the chronic diseases. Okay, so how chronic diseases affect our health? So chronic disease take relatively long period of time, and hence they are likely to affect our general health as well. And also they may hinder the growth in children or increase stress in adults. They can make us feel tired all the time. They can also lead to increase or decrease in the weight. For example, in tuberculosis, there is a decrease in weight if you are diagnosed with tuberculosis. If you in your body there is a presence of bacteria, that is Mycobacterium tuberculosis, that cause the disease tuberculosis. So they can also affect your lifestyle, day by day activities, and the ability to learn new things, and hence we can say that they have a long term effect on your health than the acute diseases. Okay, fine. Now there are the causes of diseases. What are the causes of diseases? We know that the two factors are responsible for causes of disease. One is internal factor, another one is external factor. Internal factors are hormonal imbalance, allergic reaction, genetic disorder, and malfunctioning of body organ. Please note it down in your copy. External factors are unhealthy diet, disease causing germs like bacteria, viruses, fungi, pollution in the environment, and unhealthy lifestyle. So these are the factors that is responsible for causing a particular diseases. It is all given in this paragraph. So now there are a different type of disease, that is immediate diseases and also the contributing diseases. Immediate diseases are the disease that actual causes that are responsible for the disease, and these causes can be infectious as well as non-infectious. For example, bacteria, fungi, viruses, germs. Contributory diseases causes are, these are not the direct cause but factors that contribute in causing a diseases. For example, poor diet, unhealthy lifestyle, polluted environment. So these are the contributory causes, and immediate causes are causes that are affect from particular bacteria, fungi, viruses, germs, etc. These are infectious or non-infectious. Now there is one more thing that is present in it. There is one more thing that is present in it. One is congenital disease and the acquired disease. Please note down in your copy that what are congenital disease. Congenital disease are the disease that are present since birth. For example, hole in the heart of an infant. And acquired disease are the disease that occur after the birth, based on the ability to spread from one individual to another individual. So on the basis of acquired diseases, we can classify diseases into infectious and non-infectious causes of disease. Okay, so what are infectious causes? We can say infectious disease causes are, these are the causes which are extrinsic or external diseases causing factors, and they can lead to infectious disease and can affect the whole community as they are transferable from one person to another person. So what are infectious disease? These are the disease that is transferred from one person to another person, easily transmitted into the community. Like for example, just now you are aware of coronavirus. These are the infectious disease. Now non-infectious disease are what? Non-infectious disease are the intrinsic disease causing factors. They can lead to non-infectious disease and do not affect the whole community as they are non-transferable from one generation to another generation. From one person to another person. For example, high blood pressure. For example, diabetes. These are the non-infectious disease because they are not transferable from one person to another person. Okay. Now the difference between the infectious and non-infectious disease are, infectious disease are also called as communicable disease and non-infectious disease are called as non-communicable disease. Infectious disease are caused by the attack of pathogens. Pathogens are the microorganism that cause a particular diseases, and the disease brought about by extrinsic or external factors. Infectious disease can pass from diseased person to healthy person, and transmission of infection occur through direct contact or some medium. For example, air, water, vectors. Vectors means like mosquito. Mosquito spread malaria, dengue and different type of disease. For example, cholera. Also community hygiene can reduce the incidence of infectious disease. If we maintain hygiene in our environment, then there is less chances to get infectious disease. For example, cholera, tuberculosis, pneumonia, chickenpox, these are all infectious disease. Non-infectious disease are the disease that is not caused by the pathogens. The disease that are mostly brought by internal factors. Just now I told you. And the non-infectious disease cannot pass from one person to another person, and transmission is absent. But hereditary disease are transmitted from parent to offspring. And also community hygiene is ineffective in reducing the incidence of non-infectious disease. There is no role of community hygiene. For example, high blood pressure, heart disease or cancer. Now, infectious agents. Here you can see infectious agents. The pathogens or microbe that cause infectious disease are called as infectious agents. For example, virus. Virus cause common cold, influenza, dengue fever and AIDS. Another one is infectious agent are bacteria. Bacteria cause typhoid, fever, cholera, tuberculosis, anthrax, etc. Fungi is also infectious agent that we can say that it is pathogen if it will cause a particular disease, and it cause many common diseases. Now protozoan cause malaria, kala azar, etc. Worms call worm infections and elephantiasis. We can study here you can see. Okay, so these are the worms, roundworms. Trypanosomas that cause a sleeping sickness disease, and here is Staphylococcus. Okay, and here is Leishmania that cause a Kala Azar, and also the SARS virus. There are many diseases which are caused by the pathogens or infectious agents. So why do we need to understand the characteristics of these infectious agents? Here you can see. Yeah, if we understand the characteristics, we can treat the disease caused by them in a better way. We can find out the particular medicines and would work according to the infectious agent. Some common characteristics of infectious agents are: viruses live inside the host body. Bacteria do not generally live inside the host body. If we treat virus according to the bacteria, then the treatment will not be taken by then the treatment will not be completely treatable. The disease will not be completely treat नहीं हो पाएगी. Yeah, that's it. So we work according to the particular pathogen that cause the diseases. सो अगर वायरल डिसीज़ है तो वायरल डिसीज़ के अकॉर्डिंगली आपको ट्रीटमेंट करना होगा. अगर बैक्टीरियल डिसीज़ है तो आपको बैक्टीरियल डिसीज़ के अकॉर्डिंग वर्क करना होगा. वायरस एंड बैक्टीरिया एंड फंजाई मल्टीप्लाई क्विकली एंड वर्म्स डू नॉट मल्टीप्लाई क्विकली. सो वी नीड टू वर्क अकॉर्डिंगली टू ट्रीट अ पर्टिकुलर डिसीज़. So how penicillin can help fighting against the pathogen or bacteria? Here the paragraph is given for the penicillin. Penicillin, we all know that it is a antibiotic. And what are antibiotics? That block the growth of particular bacteria. The bacteria cell grow by creating a cell wall that protects them, and penicillin is an antibiotic that prevents the growth of the cell wall of the particular bacteria, and hence bacteria die easily. Penicillin is used for fighting against different kinds of bacteria, and we can treat this particular bacteria according to the particular medicine. Okay, so now so now the particular means of spread. One second. Okay, we are here only. So now the different I'm going to discuss about the several types of disease with you. We can classify the type of diseases. We can classify them on the basis of airborne, whether it is airborne disease, foodborne disease, waterborne disease, and the lifestyle diseases, or we can say vector-borne disease and also a sexually transmitted disease. So what are airborne disease? These are the disease caused by the germs, bacteria or viruses in the air. For example, common cold, tuberculosis. Foodborne disease are the disease that are caused by germs, bacteria, toxins, virus, fungi present in the food. And they, for example, food poisoning, typhoid, these are all caused by the contaminated food. Next is waterborne disease. Waterborne disease are caused by the drinking contaminated water. For example, cholera and amoebiasis. These are caused by waterborne disease. These are the waterborne disease caused by the drinking contaminated water. Next is lifestyle disease. For example, heart disease, diabetes, kidney disease. They are caused by poorly unhealthy lifestyle. अगर आप ज़्यादा मीठा खा लेते हो, ज़्यादा नमक खा लेते हो, तो आपको डिफरेंट टाइप की डिसीजेस अटैक करेंगी. सो कहने का मतलब ये है, अनहेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल भी इज़ ऑल्सो अ रीज़न टू कॉज अ पर्टिकुलर डिसीज़. Next is vector-borne disease. They are caused due to the animal that carry infectious agent from sick person to another person, and these animals that act as an intermediate between disease causing germs and people are called as vectors. For example, malaria, dengue, fever, and also many other vector-borne disease that are caused by mosquito or particular pathogens. So now last one is sexually transmitted disease. These are the disease caused by due to sexual contact from one person to another person. For example, spiles, AIDS, etc. So these are the disease particularly I need to discuss with you. Please note it down. You can note it down in your notebook by pausing the video. Okay. So where do the disease causing germs live in our body? There are a number of tissues and organs in our body where these microbes get attached to particular region, and generally the point of entry decide whether they will go. And for instance, any microbe that enter through the nose is likely to settle at the lungs. For example, particular microbe enter from the nose, then it will definitely settle to the lungs. This can also be seen through the sign and symptoms of the disease. Only those organ and tissue specific seem affected where these microbes are entered. But there are some other common disease also, those are not tissue specific. And the inflammation, for example, there is an inflammation. Our body has an immune system, and in which it creates the cells that can fight against the particular disease causing germs. Here we are studying here. So this process of recruiting cell to kill the infectious disease present in our body is called as inflammation. Whenever there is microbe enter into your body, there is certain type of inflammation in your body. This is a particular sign and symptom that your body shows for a particular bacteria or particular disease, particular virus, etc. The inflammation process shows different effects on our body, such as fever, swelling, etc., cold, cough, many other signs and symptoms. And hence we can say that likelihood we are going to be affected by the particular diseases, and they are determined by our immune system. So this is all about the sign and symptoms. Now the principle of treatment. Okay, so now principle of treatment here. So what are the principle of treatment? We may treat an infectious disease in two ways. One is by killing the infectious agent, secondly by reducing the effect of the disease or reducing the symptoms. We reduce the symptom of particular disease in that way. First one is by taking rest to conserve our energy so that our immune system can fight against the disease. Second is by taking medicine to reduce the common symptoms such as fever, pain, and hence reducing the disease. So now second one is we can kill the infectious agent in our body. By taking the medicine that can kill them, such as antibiotics is taken for the bacterial disease, or antiviral medicines. So we can treat them accordingly. Now antibiotics are not effective against the viruses. We know that antibiotics are not effective for the viruses. How? Antibiotic actually work by blocking the biochemical pathway that are important for the bacteria. I just now told you that antibiotics destroy, or we can say dissolve the cell membrane of the bacteria and block them to multiply and block their growth. So after some time the death of the bacteria occur and they will not be able to multiply in our body. So like this antibiotic works, and thus these inhibit the growth of the bacteria, hamper the metabolism and kill them. Antibiotics do not work on viruses because viruses do not use the biochemical pathway and use host cell machinery for making the proteins. So the most effective way to treat the viral infections and disease is vaccination, and it can prevent a person from getting the disease in the first place. Okay, so this is all about today. I think this is all about today. Please go through my video. Please read the NCERT. I have explained very much. For that I can explain more if you want. If you have any doubt, you can drop it in the WhatsApp to me. Okay, and in the next class I will teach you about the prevention measures. Also last one is prevention, and yeah, I think that's it. So we will study about the prevention in the next class. Thank you, have a nice day.